What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
Welcome to the Vover MLB show. I am your host, Harris Rubenstein. We are officially through the MLB All-Star break, which means it is time to get on with the rest of the season and also to the best part of Major League Baseball season every year, and that is the MLB trade deadline. Lots to come, so buckle up. We're going to have a fun 5 minutes here on the Vover MLB show. Let's start with some trades. Well, first things first, we got our first trade. The Braves have acquired Joc Pederson from the Cubs as they begin their initial sell-off. Obviously, with Ronald Acuna out, I think Atlanta wanted a little bit more power out of the outfield. Joc Pederson is Joc Pederson, man. He hits home runs off right-handed pitching. Can't hit against lefties. He's going to give you league average to slightly low, under league average defense. It's Joc Pederson, man. It's not really a crazy move to call ho for, but, in that sort of meaning, they need some outfield power to replace Ronald Acuna, and I think Joc Pederson will do just fine. I mean, their only other outfielders are Ender Inciarte, so I don't really think that they're going to have a lot of pop from him. So Joc Pederson will probably be fine. He'll hit a couple home runs. He'll give them, whatever defense, and that'll be that. But in terms of other trade deadline news, it really does seem like the Cubs are going to be the biggest seller this year. I know some other teams, maybe the Indians are poking around, the Mariners as well, whoever the Mariners have to sell. But for the Cubs, it really just seemed that they're going to be the main sellers around the trade deadline. Obviously, talks are being centered around the likes of Chris Bryant, Craig Kimbrell, Anthony Rizzo. No Javier Baez rumors. It sounds like they want to keep him and Wilson Contreras at least. But for Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant, this really does seem like the end of their time with the Cubs. Top rumors for Chris Bryant. I mean, I feel like he's been rumored to be getting traded to the Mets for the past 2 or 3 years now. It does seem like this might actually come to fruition, that they're going to trade for him, maybe sign him to a long-term deal to lock up the left side of the infield with Lindor and Bryant for, the next 5 to 10 years, which would be fantastic for all the New York Mets fans that I know. And then for Anthony Rizzo, really does sound like he might be coming to the Boston Red Sox, which I would find incredibly funny. After all this time, after all the madness, him going to the Padres, then ending about the Cubs and winning the World Series. Remember, Anthony Rizzo was a huge Red Sox prospect. He was the guy who was going to, be their first baseman for his entire career. And then they trade him in the infamous Adrian Gonzalez trade. Yes, that is how the Red Sox got Adrian Gonzalez back in 2010. Anthony Rizzo heads to the Padres, and then he gets to the Cubs for a trade for Andrew Cashner. Yes, Andrew Cashner to the Padres for Anthony Rizzo. He goes to the Cubs, hasn't looked back, been one of the best players in franchise history, won them a World Series, had a couple runs at an MVP trophy, has won 4 Gold Gloves, a couple Silver Sluggers, a bunch of All-Star games. As we all know, Anthony Rizzo became really the face of that franchise, but it does sound like his time with the Cubs is coming to an end, which would be, would actually be pretty depressing. Outside of that, there are rumors that the Indians might be sellers as well. Maybe we see the likes of Shane Bieber, Carlos Santana on his way out. Carlos Santana's on the Royals now. A couple guys might be on their way out in the American League Central. So, keep your nose to the grindstone, keep your ears to the ground, because we're definitely in MLB trade rumor season at this point. But let's talk about the second half of the MLB season real quick before we go. What are we really going to get out of these Major League Baseball teams this year? I think that for the second half of the year, you're going to see a lot of top prospects start getting called up. The Red Sox already did it with Jarren Duran. I would not be surprised if the Orioles called up Adley Rutschman at some point this year. We'll see how many prospects end up getting called up, but don't be surprised if we end up getting a couple down the stretch here. In terms of big players coming back, the American League East is littered with them. Chris Sale coming back for the Red Sox pretty soon. Tyler Glasnow should be coming back to the Rays pretty soon, which is huge because they're really going to need him for the postseason run. Don't be surprised if the Twins trade Nelson Cruz. Not a lot of teams looking for DHs right now, but I'm sure there will be rumors of him going somewhere. The White Sox are going to get Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez back, which will be massive for their World Series push as they are just dominating the American League Central right now. Maybe Mike Trout is going to end up coming back at some point. So all in all, it should be a pretty intense second half for the American League. And then in the National League, what's going to happen in the National League East now that Acuna is injured? Are the Mets just going to run away with it? How much are the Mets going to pitch to DeGrom as they get closer and closer to the postseason? The National League Central, what's going to happen with the Brewers? Are they going to be able to keep this up with their incredible pitching? Is Christian Yelich going to wake back up and become, the MVP candidate that we once knew? And then for the National League West, how is everything going to shape up? Are the Giants going to be able to hold off the Dodgers? Are the Padres going to make a crazy run? Are they going to end up in the wild card game against one of these elite National League teams? So a lot to come in Major League Baseball. We're going to have a fun couple weeks as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. And remember to listen to all the other great apps here on Vover. I'm your host, Harris Rubenstein, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Vover.